Mikel Arteta signed Nico Williams today, tonight, whatever time zone. Just get that man at the Emirates. You saw how he was cooking the Italian fullback on that left-hand side. That's the sort of winger we need to add to the mix at Arsenal Football Club, especially if we're not going to sign a striker. People, Deluded, I'm back again. Please make sure you're liking, you're commenting and subscribing. Now, we've been linked with Nico Williams, as has Barcelona, and we don't know if Arsenal will actually sign him. There's rumours of a release clause in the £50 million region, and he'd be a great signing. He's obviously a 1v1 demon, obviously got a high technical level, obviously with scope to improve. But again, you know, for a man that we've been linked with, it was probably predictable that when you put in the performance you did against Italy, building on the performance against Croatia, links to clubs away from Bilbao were obviously going to circulate. Been linked with Arsenal, been linked with Chelsea, still's linked with Barcelona. And I'm sure if you work for Barcelona, if you manage Barcelona, if you're a Barcelona fan, the young Yalmao and Nico Williams on either flank is one that gets the taste buds going. You know, apparently Kudus is being linked with a move away from West Ham, a man that Arsenal fans wanted at Ajax. We did sign Declan Rice last summer, so it would be a dream to sign another West Ham player. I'm not sure West Ham fans will go for that. Lokonga apparently is moving closer to leaving Arsenal on a loan basis, and where departures are concerned at this football club, I'm not expecting Edu to sell everybody or bring everybody or address every area we need in. You know, I'd imagine we tried to sign Hatto, but we've obviously known he wants to sign a new deal with Ajax. The Sesko thing didn't work out, so that's two targets that bite the dust. Kieran Tierney's picked up an injury, obviously, for Scotland, which could make, depending on the length of his injury, difficult for him to depart. We don't know what it's going to be saying where Aaron Ramsdale's concerned, and I personally think Lokonga is a hard sell because he did well at Luton, make no mistake about it, but a Belgium international, an Anderlecht Academy grad, at Arsenal midfielder, if you cannot stand out in a team that just got promoted from the Championship, with the greatest of respect to Luton, there's going to be something wrong. And I do think he's a hard sell. And I mean, going on loan to Sevilla could put you in the pipeline, really. I mean, that's a good move. You know, I actually think Lokonga is punching, if I'm honest. So if you allow me to share my screen with you guys, let's get into the transfer business. Now, The Athletic have spoken, and apparently Arsenal and Chelsea both have Nico Williams on their wish list. Mikel Arteta sees him as one of his preferred options if Arsenal decide to go for a wide player this summer. Industry sources say Williams' release clause is in the region of €55 million. And he's apparently earning 200 grand a week. You have seen wage concerns could be an issue, but I mean, when you play like the way he's been playing at the Euros, building on a solid season, I still think there's a lot of elements in his game to improve, because I think he needs to make performances like against the Italians the minimum and play at that high standard. Now, I guess 200 grand a week isn't that bad, people. Now, it's interesting that he's one of the preferred options. So does that mean we're linked with several? You know, it's easy to link Arsenal with wide men. You know, Nico Williams is always linked with us. Pedro Neto is another one. I wonder, obviously, they're better than Reece Nelson. And Reece Nelson apparently has made clear that he wants to depart Arsenal Football Club. But a bit like Aaron Ramsdale, where a goalkeeper's concerned, are we going to sanction their exits without somebody coming through the door? I'm not too sure, people. And it all depends what William wants to do. Does he, you know, is the laws of the Premier League, the London lifestyle, what Chelsea have done historically, what Arsenal have done historically, and what we're doing under Mikel Arteta, could that be great? Or could he be tempted to stay at Bilbao for another season? Or could he be tempted, if finances apply, to make the move to Barcelona and help in their rebuild? I mean, respectfully to Williams, they're going to need more than Pedri, Gavi, him and Yalmao, because you see the Avengers that Real Madrid have assembled. You know, even the Galers there for no reason. They're stockpiling. I compare Real Madrid to, big up my Football Manager ones, anyone who's played Football Manager, you know, when you've played for a number of years and you've got the best players, you're winning a bunch of things, and it gets so boring that you just start finding the young players to eventually replace the current players. I think that's where Real Madrid are at. If it was up to me, Nico Williams is signed, in it, people, and bring Fabio and Ruiz as well while we're at it. You know, you see my videos on my YouTube channel since 2018 on him. Obviously, his days going back to Betis, of course, playing for PSG. Many a talented player, or even more talented players than him, have fallen by the wayside. And I think where the group stages are concerned, I think Fabio Ruiz definitely is a contender for team of the tournament so far. And if he continues this, obviously, you know, team of the tournament for the Euros in general. Romano has spoken in relation to Williams and said in his contract, his release clause is worth €58 million. So that's probably maybe like 47, 50 max million pounds. The interest is normal, but Nico is very happy in Bilbao. We are very happy with him. We're not worried, said the Athletic president. I mean, he's not going to say anything other than that. And to be fair, with his form, I think he signed a new deal fairly recently, but he might be in line for another new deal. If this was any other working job, you know, you're excelling in your department, then they have to retain their best talent, really. The Athletic have done a piece on him, and obviously I don't think Di Lorenzo ever wants to play against him again. He had a fantastic story of his parents getting him of his parents departing wherever they're from in Africa and actually ending up in Spain. It's not a great story because you don't want to hear it, but it is a very good story. And you know, words can't put into words really and truly what, you know, he's now achieving after the hardships that his family essentially went through to give him a better life. But let's just keep it football. Big him up, people. Apparently, you know, Athletic refused to comment on any figures, but industry sources say Williams' release clause is in the region of 55 million euros, which equates to 47 million pounds. And anyone from a leading club who saw last game would surely be tempted to trigger it. He did say, I'm trying to skip through the Tosh people, on his future. I've seen reports talking about my future, but honestly, I have no clue of anything. Right now, I want to focus on the Euros and nothing else. Now, privately, that might be very different, but you wouldn't expect the player to say anything else. I'm so happy at Bilbao. I signed a new deal and performed well last season. I feel at home. I don't know what I will do. Nobody can tell you about the future. So he's opened the door. Apparently, Deco wants to sign a winger and he fits the billing. I don't know if Barcelona will have to make some departures because you do need a squad, but that could mean Rafinha is sold. So you'd imagine we'll be linked again with Rafinha because we wanted him along with Chelsea, ironically, before he departed Leeds and signed for Barcelona. So yeah, big up him and the bromance he has between Nico Williams and Yalmao. Forget all of that. We all know Barcelona are struggling for finances and they have 130 million hole in their account. So they probably need to sell before they can bring in. Apparently, getting to the bulk of it, people, once again, Arsenal and Chelsea have him on their wish list. Apparently, Arteta sees him as one of the preferred options if we decide to go for a wide player. I think we do. I don't think Arsenal can get away without another attacking addition. The ideal thing would have been a striker and a winger. If you could have brought in a striker and said, you know what, we'll utilize what we have already, great. I do think you need a winger. I don't think Arsenal can get to the next level without another attacking addition. I actually feel, I'm sure there's many areas that Mikel Arteta wants to improve, but within the next 18 months to 2 years, or, you know, focusing on this summer, if you can get a striker, great. But I think to go to the next level, you need another wide option. You need a striker, and central midfield is arguably the most important area. We have a hole there. You've got Declan Rice, you've got Odegaard, you've had at periods Partey, Jorginho, Fabio Vieira and Smith Rowe. Nobody's really locked down that position, people. Mikel Arteta sees him as one of his preferred options if Arsenal decide to go for a wide player this summer. Chelsea may be tempted to make a move even more of seeing an effort after how well Williams combined it with their left-back Cucurella. Liverpool have also discussed such as well, people. Cucurella's done well at the Euros as well, to be fair with you. And it just shows you that, you know, football's a weird game, really. He's finally looking like the Brighton Cucurella that got him the move to Chelsea. Reports have also said we've held talks with his reps ahead of potentially signing a 21-year-old this summer. Barcelona, Arsenal, Newcastle, Aston Villa and Liverpool have all been credited in this article, people. And again, his release clause has kind of changed there to 42 million. So it's a lot of whispers going on, really and truly. But, you know, it is what it is. Sevilla are keeping up the theme indirectly with La Liga and Arsenal. Apparently, Sevilla in negotiations to sign Lokonga on loan, people, which, again, he's got 2 years left on his deal, 1 year with an option of another. Clearly, Arsenal are not. I can't imagine people are queuing up to sign Lokonga. So I guess you're hoping he goes to Sevilla, plays very well. Then the next summer, with 1 year left on his deal, we break even and we keep it moving. The 24-year-old needs to leave, and he needs some stability. You know, you've been at Crystal Palace, you've been at Arsenal, not really got a look in. You've been at Luton. Far cry from the next Yaya Toure that company said he was, people. And, you know, if you really are the next Yaya Toure, company, go and take him to Bayern Munich and show us that. Put a sell-on clause as well while you're at it. Kudus has been linked with a move away from West Ham. Apparently, they fear he could push for a move away from the club, people, following their failure to qualify for European football. I'm not too sure if I believe that the 23-year-old, you'd imagine there's a lot of interest in his services, both from England and clubs abroad. I would imagine West Ham are probably more open to losing Kudus than Paqueta. Obviously, Paqueta's got the gambling stuff over his head, and for the second summer in a row, it looked like he was going to go City last summer. It looks like he could have went this year. but it isn't a thing. If there is a chance to sign Mohamed Kudus, I'm all for that at Arsenal, but it all depends on the price. Apparently, Jack Grealish could potentially quit Manchester City. I don't believe in that. I don't really feel he's the profile we need, but in terms of how he plays and what I like, he'd be welcome at Arsenal. I just wouldn't expect too many goals and assists from the individual. You know, we've been linked with the Turkish fullback Ferdi Kadugoglu. Forgive me for mispronunciations. Romano has said people Borussia Dortmund are focusing on left back options, and he's one of those. They actually say the club have spoken with the players' camp people, and he's also got interest from Premier League clubs. Clubs haven't been name dropped. That's probably because, as you can see, Maatsen, who plays for Chelsea, technically that was at Dortmund on loan, seems like he's going to be signing for Aston Villa. This is said we've made an offer for him, people, of 17 million, and it's actually been rejected, as Fenerbahce would like a bit more. So we've bidded 17 million in brackets 20 million euros. They actually want 21 million in brackets 25. I think the interest in him is overstated, and I can't comment on a player I don't know, but you know, it is consistent with Arsenal being linked with left backs. If he is the option, if we truly have gone after him, if Arteta truly does want him, get it done and bring his international teammate Arda Güler, man, even though Real Madrid be crazy. Reiss Nelson a few weeks ago made it clear, or at least David Ornstein told us such, that he wishes to assess his options at Arsenal Football Club, in which it's a difficult one because, again, can you really let him go without an assurance of bringing in adequate, options out wide? And he's someone that could obviously make us a lot of money. And every day that goes on, he's been linked with several clubs, people. We've heard Brighton, we've heard several. Apparently, West Ham and Nottingham Forest have made contact with Arsenal over a potential deal. Apparently, we value him at between 25 to 30 million euros. I mean, if you could get that for Nelson, I do think if he goes somewhere, and gets some stability and plays a lot of games, he'll show his quality. But 25 to 30 million plus a little sell on for Nelson, for someone that really and truly can't buy first minutes on the bench for the majority of the season. Obviously, towards the end of the year, the minute our players started truly becoming fit, he weren't in the matchday squad, so it's probably best he keeps it moving. Elise seems to be going ever closer to moving to Chelsea. Would love Arsenal to get involved, but again, that's wishful thinking. Barcelona apparently eyeing up moves for Haaland and Saliba. To be fair, if you want to get any close to Real Madrid, you need to do such, but unless you got 100 odd million or something stupid, or at least what Van Dijk went from Southampton to Liverpool for, you can forget about Saliba. For Haaland, I always thought it was destiny that you play for Real Madrid. I wouldn't rule it out, but with them having Mbappe, Rodrigo, Vinicius, young Endrick, and more attacking players than I can probably count, they've probably signed a couple other wonder kids as I'm recording this. That's a myth. Saliba is one of the best young defenders, if not the best young defender on the planet. Don't think he's leaving anytime soon. He's under contract. He's playing week in, week out. Of course, everyone's got a price, but this says that they're ambitious enough to at least attempt, which it shows he's doing okay. If he's linked with these clubs, really doing all right, really, So we'll have to see. So we've gone over Williams. It seems like Nico Williams is the one of the moment. We're still linked with Onana, with Zertsky, with Xavi Simons. They appear to be in the backdrop. I would love Arsenal to sign the 28-year-old Fabian Ruiz from PSG. I know we're probably not going to bring Nico Williams to the carpet. I wouldn't mind Kudus, but the Kuduses, the Elises, the Nico Williams, the Bakayokos from PSV. They're all of different statures. Some are more ahead of their in terms of their development than others, but I think we need a wide man. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts. Do we need a striker and a winger? Can we get away with just one of them? Is there a reality where we did score 91 Premier League goals, over 100 in all comps? Can we get away without any attacking options? How do you lot feel about the midfield? So let me know your thoughts on the talking points I've just provided and everything what we've gone over, people. Again, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Bless up, people, and we'll link up again soon. But for now, God bless you all. One love for tuning in. DG Nation. Peace.